Hi, I'm Snez, personal trainer, healthy lifestyle coach, and your guide to feeling your best. This podcast is a segment from my weekly radio show, Wellbeing Wednesdays, broadcast live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. It's all about sharing real, practical tips to help you move more, eat better, and live healthier without the overwhelm. Let's dive in, shall we? But coming up next, going to be talking about inflammation and how to reduce inflammation with some basic changes to food. So inflammation is behind so many of the health issues that we face, from weight gain and fatigue to joint pain. And what stands out most to us is definitely the joint pain. And even the bloating is also related to inflammation, also heart disease. But the thing is, you can make some real improvements by just understanding what inflammation is and then making some changes to our food. Okay, so if we have a look at inflammation in our bodies, what actually is it? Firstly, we need to understand that it's our body's natural defense response. It's what helps us to fight infection or to heal an injury. But the problem starts when this inflammation is occurring in our body and it becomes chronic, and it just lingers silently in the background, contributing to fatigue, joint pain, brain fog, gut issues, and long-term health conditions. But it's not actually in response to anything in particular. It's not an immediate threat or an infection or an injury. And a lot of the causes of inflammation are super processed and ultra processed foods. So this is one of the biggest drivers in our body. So things like refined carbohydrates, added sugars, seed oils, and packaged snacks, they all spike your blood sugar, and then they flood your body with compounds that trigger inflammation in the body. Things such as poor gut, so when the gut lining is compromised, or, oftentimes we call that leaky gut, and food particles and toxins can sneak into the bloodstream, it can cause a significant immune response, which is going to lead to ongoing inflammation. Also, stress. Cortisol is a stress hormone in our body, which should spike and fall. But when it's constantly elevated, it messes with our immune function, our digestion, our sleep. But again, it promotes inflammation. It's like all these different causes are basically stresses on the body that the body responds to in a way through inflammation as a way of healing these aspects of our lives. So poor sleep is the other thing, lack of movement. So when our body is asleep, it's repairing, and without it, inflammation markers stay elevated and your body can't put the fire out, so to speak. And also lack of movement. So our lymphatic system, which helps clear out the waste and inflammatory byproducts in our body, needs to move and needs movement to function. So when we're sitting too long or we're inactive and we're stagnant, therefore, the body cannot get rid of some of that inflammation and that waste and byproducts out of our system. And also other hidden toxins and chemicals from personal care products, from plastics, from cleaning products. The body can be overloaded with toxins and it can strain our system, which again can lead to inflammation. So even looking at some of those causes, you probably have got some good ideas of what sorts of things that you can do to give your body a bit of a break so that it doesn't have to respond in an inflammatory way. And some of these changes that we are about to talk about, or ones that you've been able to identify just by listening to some of the causes, are quite simple when we're talking about ultra-processed foods, gut health, chronic stress, lack of movement, poor sleep, and hidden toxins and chemicals in and around our homes and around our bodies. This is definitely some things that we can work on. But today I'm going to talk about some 3 basic food-based strategies that can help to reduce inflammation. And when we're talking about reducing inflammation, it's less about making restrictions in our diet, but instead making some smart swaps. And a few consistent changes to your meals and to your snacks can really help your body calm this inflammation and boost your energy and prevent those chronic illnesses without having to go too strict. The first way is just to eat more colours. It's a simple thing to do, but a lot of anti-inflammatory foods are naturally colourful. So think things like berries, leafy greens, and capsicum. So aim to get at least 3 different colours of fruit or veg on your plate at every main meal. So adding things like adding spinach to your breakfast or blueberries to your snack, capsicum and tomato to your lunches, and broccoli or sweet potato to your dinner. They're simple things that you can add in to help to get those anti-inflammatory benefits of those foods into our day. The next and the most obvious one is going to try and reduce the ultra-processed foods out of your diet. So processed foods are full of additives, unhealthy fats and sugars, and they drive inflammation up in your body. So start to think about ways that you can swap things out. How can you cut back on some of the packaged snacks and the sugary drinks and the less processed meats, for example? They're 3 simple areas that you can change up. And rather than having a packaged muesli bar or some sort of a packaged snack, how about just grabbing a handful of nuts and some fruit, for example? Sugary drinks, replacing that where you can with herbal teas and just plain water, or water with lemon, or some water with some herb mint in there. It's a really simple, easy way to do it. And rather than having salamis or hams for your lunches, just think about grilling some chicken or putting tuna or some boiled eggs and moving more to some whole food options. And the thing is that when you're looking at ingredients, if you are struggling to pronounce or you don't even recognize what it is, then it's a really good reason to probably avoid it or try and make a better choice. The other one is to add in some foods and to swap some things out that are going to, again, add in some anti-inflammatory benefits. Olive oil is a really simple one that you can swap out vegetable oils or margarine for extra virgin olive oil in your cooking and in your salads and in your food prep. It's a very simple swap that you can do with olive oil, and olive oil is rich in antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. And then some of the other things that you can add into your day are herbs like turmeric or ginger, which again have some fantastic anti-inflammatory compounds in them. So things, as I said, turmeric, garlic, ginger, they're medicinal and they add flavour, which means that not only are you going to get the health benefits of the turmeric, garlic and ginger, but you are also potentially going to take out some of the processed sauces or salad dressings that you may include into your day that are going to add to the flavour that you can substitute in for these natural herbs and spices. So drizzling some olive oil over your roasted veggies, or try a turmeric tea in the evening or in the afternoon, is a really good starting point. And the key to reducing inflammation isn't about having to completely change everything, because when we do that, we tend not to stick to it for long enough periods of time. So what we want to do is, rather than going to the extremes, which is tough on the body and can cause inflammation in and of itself, it's about bringing some of the more of the good stuff into your day and slowly trying to get rid of some of the poorer options and the highly processed options. And a few small daily changes can really add up in your day. So if we're looking at those, again, adding some colour, some leafy greens, some berries, some capsicum, some broccoli in, trying to cut out some of the processed foods and going more for some whole grains, especially with your snacks, your drinks and your processed meats, swapping those out. And then the last one, adding in some of those good quality oils such as olive oil or some of those herbs and spices that do have those anti-inflammatory compounds that can make a whole world of difference. Thanks for joining me on this segment from Wellbeing Wednesdays, as heard live on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who might find it helpful and subscribe so you never miss a show. Want to catch the live broadcast? Well, you can tune in Wednesdays from 12 till 2 p.m. on 88.6 Plenty Valley FM, or find my info on Wellbeing Wednesdays with Snez, the Facebook group. Take care, stay healthy, and remember, it's the little choices every day that create big changes. Talk soon.